on Twitter, but I don't know why our alarm went off and the CFD showed up over here. Because they got a big old, that's like West 9th and St. Clair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's just like Fox 8, Chopper 8, or whatever, their audio. Yeah. Rooftop fire down there. Wild. Bridgeview Apartments on West 9th. Wonder why they ended up coming down here. I mean, it's a big enough fire where you wouldn't know, wouldn't confuse where they were going. Anyway, that's what was happening. But I'm telling you, because we're on the ground floor of a residential building, something like that could happen here too. Now, I'm no physicist. Pretty sure the fire would go up. But, you know, we're on the first floor. You know, in the old studios, we're on the fourth floor.
It's going to spread. But
years ago,
crazy.
There was a gas leak in the building out there at Oak Tree. And
they never fixed it, and that's why the show sounded the way they did.
Were you on the show then? This happened a long time ago. Okay, so there's a gas leak. And Mike Camerado, who was that's how long ago it was. He was one of our old engineers. Great dude. And he comes into the studio, and it's like, I was still on until 7 then, I think. We used to do 3 to 7. And it was like 10 to 6. And I'm not a guy who splits when there's an alarm going off. I got a show to do. So anyway, he comes in, he goes, everybody's got to get out of the building because there's a gas leak. We don't know what's going on. You've got to get out of the building. Now with a gas leak, my understanding is that you're not going to go right back in the building. So I leave the building. I put on like music or something, right? Because he's like, I go, let me put some best of segments on. He goes, no, you got to get out right now. I go, okay. So I throw music on. So there's something on the air. And I go out to the parking lot and everybody's standing around. And I leave. Because I'm like, we're not going to get back in the building right away if there's a gas leak. They got to have people come out and they got to check stuff. So I figure that's it. So I had a couple errands to do post-show. And our old boss, Keith Abrams, who everybody around here called Sass Keith, my phone rings and he goes, where are you? And I go, I'm on my way home. He goes, why? And I go, because there's a gas leak. He goes, yeah, but they're letting everybody back in the building. I go, since when did they let everybody back in the building in 10 minutes because there's a gas leak?
And the show was almost over.
It was almost over, and it wasn't over, and he was pissed because I was like on my way home. I go, I put music on. What do you want from me? I was there to work. I would have stayed there and finished the show. They told me to get out. That means I'm done. So I learned a valuable lesson that day. When it comes to gas leaks,
stick around.
Just wait. Just stick around.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
That's right. So, yeah, I like to learn new things. We're losing another downtown neighbor, by the way.
Oh, no. Not just the building that's on fire?
Not just the building that's on fire. That's not even a neighbor. I mean, it's over there on the river. It's West 9th and St. Clair, right? It's like past west of, it's over by, they're called Bridgeview Apartments. So they're looking at a bridge. It's as good as it gets in Cleveland. You got a view of the bridge. But no, right around the corner from us, Prospect and 9th, Medical Mutual has the big corner building there.
Yeah.
Across from like the Clevelander and, you know, where those split off. And they're leaving. Oh, no. They're moving everybody that works for them out to Brooklyn in the old American Greetings building. Now, it wasn't even a month. I think our first show here was August 16th. Our first show in the new studios was August 16th, if memory serves. And right across the street from us was a convenience store. Now, they didn't really advertise that they were there very well. They had a neon lottery sign in the back of the place. But we weren't even here a month when Mary went across the street to get a drink, and the guy proceeds to tell her,
we gone.
We're leaving next week because I can't stay in business. There's not enough business down here. We didn't even know the place was over there, and they're already gone. Now, I thought maybe it was because he knew we were coming down here, wanted nothing to do with us. I don't know the cut of his jib.
We would have helped him out, though.
Of course. He would have had regular business from everybody who works here. Yep. Right across the street. Now, I hear us run Medical Mutual advertisements all the time. They're vacating this big building back here. And they're moving everybody out to the burbs, out to Brooklyn next year. I don't know what they do. I don't know what that means. But it means that the block we're on, because it's kind of part of our one big block.
About to get a little lonelier.
A little lonelier.
But they're also building a building right next door.
Well, they're building another condo building.
Right.
But that's going to be people living there, So imagine
We'll see.
if you started working at Medical Mutual right downtown and you bought a condo right around the corner.
Like, this would be great.
I'm
I'm going to walk to work every day.
I'm going to
Go to the grocery store. It's going to be awesome.
When will the Sherwin-Williams building be built?
Next week. It's going to be fully done next week.
Or so.
It's a moving target. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're building things downtown, but these guys are leaving.
The skyline.
Huh?
I said, because that building was supposed to change the skyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be done next week. Alan was
Probably not done next week. No.
probably not.
Nope.
I would like it to be
Why are people
little
so
more hustle bustle down here, because when I was walking around with Bobby when we went to Tower City, he's just like, this is the saddest mall. Like they built
everybody knows
park.
that.
I know,
yeah.
but it's still. But I remember when it was a great mall.
I don't.
remember.
It's only
Yeah.
sucked when
I don't
I've been here.
remember.
So no, I don't remember.
I remember when it was the spot.
Yeah,
it was like,
I get it.
It was crazy to just go down there. Was an event.
If you
And they
have
had
those
stores that are-
memories,
yeah.
right. But for me, in my time in Cleveland, things have only gotten bigger, right?
Right.
So people go, it's so sad down here. I go, you should have been here when I moved here in 2009.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
yeah.
like Thunderdome.
When I started doing stand-up, that's when I was coming
Holy
downtown
Christ.
a lot. 2004. I mean, Pickwick was the only thing on East 4th. There was like a Wendy's, which, I love Wendy's. And then it was just very sad.
But why
down
do you
here.
think that
Wendy's is great, though, because you can get breakfast any time of day.
It's not any time. Breakfast hours only.
Oh, I have been misinformed.
Mhm.
What, Cody?
Why do you think that is? Why is there nothing popping down here? It's not like there's not people. Like, if you go to the flats, give them something to do.
Because
and
the
they come.
tail is wagging the dog. They figure, it worked for Heinen's. They figured, hey, if we get more people to move downtown, then there will be infrastructure will build up around them, right? The big complaint for a long time was there were people who lived downtown, but they had to get in their car to go grocery shopping. So they fixed that with the Heinen's because they kind of reached a point where there were enough people living downtown. But there is still there's a terminal velocity with all these residential, because the money to build these places is always circulating. There's always money to build these places.
Well,
But then they're on the hook to keep them full, and that's never going to happen.
And that's the
You're
thing.
not going to have them all full.
and then you also have to keep in mind, a lot of these buildings are very old. So if you want to move your people in there, it's not just about putting some typewriters in like it was
No,
back
you
in the
need,
day.
like,
You need
piping and
You got to
Yes.
retrofit the
you
whole
gotta
thing.
fix the whole building up because these buildings are falling into disrepair.
like from the
And so
20s.
that takes a lot of money. And we're like, we'll just go to this old American Greetings. It's cheaper and easier to park, and parking's a big thing too.
Now, there are only 250 employees around the corner from us who are going to be moving out there. The Medical Mutual has been in that building since 1947.
Sheesh.
And they're like, forget it. Let's just go. That's a bummer.
Well, you start a company and put it over there.
I will. Poundcake Incorporated.
What are you gonna make?
And what are you going to make or sell?
Pound cakes. It's going to be little.
Pardon me?
The pound cake mini bites. Yeah.
That's already a thing.
And also, it's not a factory. You need a factory for that.
Well, that'll be the headquarters.
That's not
and then the
zoned
factory
for
will be somewhere
industrial.
else.
Huh?
I said that will be the headquarters, the corporate headquarters. Now
Okay.
put the factory somewhere else.
All right. All right.
And,
Well,
and what do you mean there's
get it
already
rolling.
pound cake mini bites? There's no pound cake mini bites. There's mini bites of other things, but you can have your own brand or your own interpretation of what a mini bite is.
So all of a sudden,
Mega mini
talk about
bites.
the tail wagging the dog. All of a sudden, your business plan is mini bites because we call you Pound Cake.
Yeah. Tail wagging the dog. But if it works.
Tail wagging the dog. He knows what that means.
I'm just saying, I heard of like a friend of mine lives.
You do realize when I say that's already a thing. You know, Entenmann's, no small company, already makes Poundcake mini bites.
But they're not as good as the ones that he's going to make.
Oh.
He's going to make the best Poundcake.
I'll tell you what, it's
mini
too bad
bites.
that Donnie took the buyout on his family's bakery.
You
two could have really done something there, provided that Donnie is still alive. We haven't heard from him in a long, long time. You know? They might be searching for his remains as we speak.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Okay, no, I didn't know that there was actual Poundcake mini bites.
You thought that would be the
See,
one
that's why
thing
you
that
need
the
a team, man. You got to get a team.
I didn't know it was.
Can't just be throwing things out there. Get your team on it first.
I didn't know they were called Poundcake mini bites. I knew that they had pound cakes and they were small little muffins, but I didn't know they were actually called Poundcake mini bites. Okay, well then no, yeah, that's a.
They have cream cheese flavored toothpaste and watermelon flavored mouthwash. You thought somehow they overlooked tiny little pound cakes in the bakery industrial complex.
Okay, well then yeah, okay, I have to rework that, but. I just think it's fascinating that these apartments think they're going to get so much money. And people do pay for those. Like when you have like a $2,500 or $3,000 a month 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Cleveland, I'm like, okay, you could have lived anywhere. I'm glad that you're, participating in the Cleveland economy. I'm glad that you care so much about the city that you want a downtown 1-bedroom apartment. But I just can't help but think, I'm like, why? Why would you pay that type of money to live downtown here?
I don't know. You'd want to ask them.
Well, I asked him, and he was just like, "Oh, well, it's close to my job." I'm like, "Okay, that's good, I guess." He pays like another $2,500 or not $25, like I think it's like $300 a month for parking, and he was like, periodically he has to move it because they use that garage for something else. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, but sounds like he can afford it.
Yeah, he has a really good job.
Well, listen.
He's not coming up with already existing products. That's why he's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy, not the guy. He works at a big company.
And he is a guy in what capacity?
He's like an engineer for a bigger company.
All right.
You should team up with him.
Yeah. He tells him the measurements, the specs on like crumb cakes and stuff.
I don't know what type of engineer he is.
Oh, I thought you said for a bakery company.
No, some type of big company.
Oh, big company. I thought he said for a bakery company.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this guy's working the height, width, and depth of crumb cakes or something.
No.
Yeah.
Big company, not bake
All right.
company.
That's what I thought you said. That's why you were going in the little bites pound cake direction.
No.
Because you had a friend who was a baking engineer.
No,
which I've never even heard of before, but yeah.
My buddy lives in that building that's on fire.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
7th floor.
He's
is what
on the
this
7th
article
floor.
says. Can he get down?
He's
Are they
not
gonna
there
put,
right now.
are they going to put the big ladder up? Did he leave a curling iron on? I wonder what happened. It was a big fire.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out right now, but it's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild. Well, hope everyone's all right. I don't know what to tell you. Aaron Carter's neighbors had kind of a strange reaction. You know, Aaron Carter was found dead in his bathtub. And one of his neighbors said, well, now we don't have to deal with him anymore. That was his reaction because apparently Aaron Carter was making a lot of noise and he and his girlfriend were screaming and playing loud music. It's still a bit of a strange reaction when your neighbor dies. And they said that the neighbor said that all he did was cause havoc for his community. He was in the process of selling his house. 7-bedroom, 4-bath for $800K. Because it's out there in the middle of nowhere. He was out there in Lancaster, California. And so, yeah, people were like, oh my God, you can get a 7-bedroom house in LA for $800,000? Yeah. If you want to move out to the Mojave, you can. You're not living in Hollywood. But if you had a neighbor die, and the only neighbors I've ever had die were elderly neighbors, people who died of natural causes. But if you had a real pain-in-the-ass neighbor who died like that, unfortunate circumstances, I'm not sure if your reaction would be, well, it'd be a lot quieter, be a lot quieter around here without all that nonsense. But that wasn't the route that one of the neighbors took. He said, well, we won't have to put up with that anymore. The singer got mad at this particular neighbor, telling him to sign his document. They would blast loud music at all hours. Well, yeah, they're tweakers. I mean, that's why it ends the way that it does. You know, it's tragic, but that was bound to happen. I don't think anyone's shocked.
That's also a reason I don't think I could get heavily into drugs, because I just don't like music that loud.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't need it to be that loud. I like to be able to hear my thoughts.
Okay.
My girlfriend likes loud music, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be this loud.
Yeah, I like loud music.
It's like, yeah, it's loud. She's like, you worried about your neighbors? I'm like, no, I'm worried about me. Like, it just bothers me when it's that loud.
Alan, you made up the bakery industrial complex. I did. There's huge companies that make Nestle and Mondelez and General Mills. These are massive companies that are making what Poundcake wants to make. Bimbo! Bimbo is the largest baking company in the world based out of Mexico. You've seen Bimbo trucks.
It's called Bimbo?
Bimbo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they bought Sara Lee and Wonder Bread and, you know.
Bimbo?
Bimbo.
I don't think I've ever
Kellogg. My older kids grew up in Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg is based in Battle Creek, Michigan. Huge companies that are making these things. Poundcake, listen, I love a good David and Goliath story as much as the next dude. But he'd have to have a slingshot full of the most delicious tiny pound cakes anyone had ever had in order to make any inroads against
That's what they
monoliths.
Called.
What?
Not mini pound cakes. They gotta be called tiny pound cakes.
Yes, tiny pound cakes.
That's the branding, dum-dum.
That's right. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, you want to
eat my cake?
Hey, you want to eat my cake? Check it out, man. Eat my cake. Come on.
You want my cake and eat it too?
I got my cake and eat it too. I'm going to go around the corner. Oh, that was fun. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I want to get in on this downtown conversation deal. You know, a couple major factors are the influence. The city of Cleveland, the county, and the state all bribe companies to come downtown. And cities like Brooklyn and the other suburbs, they all give incentives and other bonuses and benefits to corporations to move into their city. And another major factor is with COVID, many people are working from home now. And so a lot of these corporations, they don't need these offices anymore.
No one's surprised. I mean, it's bad timing for companies that are building things downtown because, you know, I think these plans are laid out years in advance. And then a pandemic hits and everybody goes, well, this thing is underway. I mean, you know, it's funded and it's underway. And we've got contractors and we've got, you know, venture capitalists, and blah, blah, blah.
If you buy a condo in downtown Cleveland, you get 30 years of tax abatement. That means you don't have to pay taxes for the next 30 years while all the other suburb people that live, you know, out in the outer belt, they have to pay taxes. So it's basically bribery, and it's unfair. It is corrupt.
Yeah, but Steve, tax abatements are nothing new. This is it's not bribery. It's like, hey, want to live downtown? Yeah. Here's some financial incentives. It's the same as if you want to buy a house out in the sticks. There's financial incentives to do that.
No, not in
Nobody told you to live in the
burbs.
burbs. There are plenty of people that go, we're empty nesters now. We're going to go to a place downtown. And so these places fill up for like a year or so. And then they go, let's go back to the suburbs. There's only so many professional athletes that are going to live downtown at any given time.
No, they all live in Westlake and the other better suburbs. And there's no tax abatement in the suburbs like the city gives or bribes.
Right. So live downtown. Nobody's telling you to live out there. It's not their fault.
Yeah, but there's nobody wants to live downtown. Nobody wants.
There's plenty of people living down here. There's plenty of people living down here. If you wanted an apartment in the building we're in, you can't get one right now. There's no apartments upstairs.
Not only is there tax abatement for the people who move down, but the developers get all kind of goodies under the table and over the table, and all kind of extra cash that people don't even know about that they get. And that's the developers make out like bandits.
Well, you should have been a developer. Developers. Okay, thank you, Steve. Hey, Rat.
Oh, hey, little radio buddies.
Hey, are you working where the fire is?
No, bro. God bless it. I miss everything. So I started just as a specialist in my own company, working over at that place, and they have another couple buildings around town, 55th and Shoreline. And, man, I can't tell you how sweet these secretaries are and how awesome the maintenance crew is and the owners, and I feel really bad right now that there's a fire on the roof because we've been putting a ton of work into those buildings. Just the sweetest.
What happened?
Bill, man, I don't know. Nobody's answering their phone. They're all probably running around panicking. This place is so...
running around panicking. Oh, I hope that they're not running in circles. I hope they're not running in circles, Rat. It'd be terrible.
It's so huge. I got lost in there probably 7 times.
Yeah.
Okay, like stairwells leading into the abyss of garages, elevators popping out of nowhere. There's 13 floors on this place.
That sounds like you need that sounds like a contractor problem if the elevators lead to nowhere. That is going to cause a lot of problems out there in the... Okay, listen, Rat, I've got to move on, but I do appreciate the check-in. Thank you, pal. I'll have another $1,000 for you on the way at 4:30. Next chance for you to go fund yourself after the break. The Bill Squire Christmas Kwanzaa is set to take place at the world-famous Agora on December the 16th. It's a Friday night, and I will have tickets for you after the break here and give you full details on that. So we'll take a break, 35192 to text, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.
Or whatever smart device you have.
Just tell it to play the Alan